plan. So I had a meeting with my dad last night and we've decided to open up an Etsy shop together. He likes to talk like a lot, so I was expecting this, but it took us about 2 hours last night just to come up with a name. We finally found one after a lot of back and forth and opinions. So we decided to go with the Board and Bobbin. So he will be doing woodworking things, and I'll be doing sewing things. So we kind of mushed our two niches together into the Board and Bobbin. So when you're starting an Etsy shop from scratch, I recommend creating yourself an email address that you can use, not your personal email address or one that you've used before. Just because in the future, if you make business cards or any of your marketing materials, it just looks better to have your shop title in the email address rather than your name or something like that. So I just went on Gmail and created us a new email address, theboardandbobbin@gmail.com. And then, so your second step once you have an email address is to set up your Etsy shop. So what I did when we were brainstorming is I went to Etsy and I went to the shop creator, and as we were coming up with ideas, I'd type them in to make sure they were available. Because it's a lot of wasted time if you come up with like 10 names and you decide on one and it's not available because you have to go back to the beginning then. So that's a good thing to do for sure. Another good thing to do is do an actual Google search. So go on your computer and Google your would-be name. So just make sure that there's no other companies that aren't on Etsy with that name, because that could get confusing for your customers in the future, you know, if you're at a market or something. And so when you come into the Etsy shop creator, the first screen you'll see is shop preferences. That's just where you pick your language, your country, your currency that you want to see. So that's all pretty straightforward. The next section is the actual name of your shop. So this is where you can type in things when you're brainstorming to make sure it's available. If you come up with a name and it's not available, it'll actually give you suggestions underneath. So for example, if the Board and Bobbin, our shop name, wasn't available, it would say below, for example, the Board and Bobbin Designs or Board and Bobbin Company or something like that, to give you some more options if you're really married to that name. And then once you settle on your shop name and make sure it's available, the next screen is called Stock Your Shop. So this is where you're gonna put a couple listings in to get started. It just says add as many listings as you can. 10 or more would be a great start. More listings means more chances to be discovered. So this is just to get you started. You don't have to spend days and days putting up your whole catalog. Put up 5 or 6 just to get started. Work on everything else, and then you can go back and fine tune these as you go. Next screen is how you'll get paid. So this is just entering in your direct deposit information for your bank account. So you can either go to the bank or you can print off a direct deposit form online for your bank account. You just need the transit number, account number, things like that. And the next screen is to set up your billing. So this is for the fees that Etsy takes. And then the last two headings are set up your billing and your shop security settings. So Etsy charges fees for your listings and other things. So if in your first month you don't make any sales, you still owe for those listings. So the space to put in your credit card is just for Etsy to pay your bill for you. Once you start making money by selling your listings, Etsy will take it off automatically, and you'll see that in your statement at the end of the month. And then shop security settings are password. You can set up two-factor authorization, things like that to make sure that it's really hard to hack into your account if someone tries. Okay, and that's basically it for getting your Etsy shop up and running, the basics. If you have any more in-depth questions or any questions about what I've talked about today, please let me know down below. And I'm going to try and document this journey, getting our Etsy shop set up. It should be pretty interesting doing it with my dad. He's a real character. So yeah, follow along, subscribe so you can come along with us. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.